Today we're going to take what you learned about the Pythagorean theorem and using it with right triangles and apply them to real-world problems. So there is a 16-foot pole with a wire tied from the top of it to the ground. The wire is anchored to the ground 12 feet away from the base of the pole. How long is the wire? So this is giving me the picture. I see I have a pole that's vertical. The wire, it says, extends from the top of the pole up here down to the ground. It's 12 feet away. Where it ends is 12 feet away from the base of the pole. The base of the pole is right here where it starts on the ground. I want to know how long the wire is. So I do have a right triangle. I'm missing a side, so I can use the Pythagorean theorem. So I'm going to first write down a squared, my formula, plus b squared equals c squared. Make sure you are writing this down as well. And it would be a good idea to have the picture. Always pause if you need to. Remember, A and B are your two legs, so the two sides that form the right angle, and C is the hypotenuse, the line that is, or the side across from my right angle. So I see that I am given 16 and 12. Those are my two legs. They form the right angle, so I'm going to plug them in for A and B. So 16 squared plus 12 squared equals c squared. And I'm looking for c. I know that, yes, because of the picture, but also because it's the line and the side across from my right angle. So then on the left side, I'm going to multiply out my exponents. 16 squared is 256, plus 12 squared is 144. That's also going to equal c squared. When I add, I get 400 equals c squared. Remember, to get c by itself, I have to do the opposite of squaring something, which is to take the square root. I need to figure out what number, when I square it or multiply it by itself, gives me 400. And when I do that, I get 20. So the wire is 20 feet long. All right, a ladder is leaning against a wall. The bottom of the ladder must be placed 3 feet from the wall. The ladder is 12 feet long. How far above the ground does the ladder touch the wall? So the first thing I want to do is make a picture. I have a wall and a ladder. The wall is going to be my vertical line because the wall of a building stands tall vertically. My ladder is leaning against it, which means that's going to be my diagonal. So it's going to be placed at the wall and it's going to come to the ground. And then obviously we're going to connect the bottom of the wall and the bottom of the ladder. It tells me that the bottom of the ladder is 3 feet from the wall. So here's the bottom of the ladder. It's 3 feet from the wall. The ladder is 12 feet long, so that's my diagonal because my ladder is leaning up. I want to know how far above the ground. So does the ladder reach the wall? So the ladder comes up to the wall here, which means I need to figure out how far above. How tall is this wall? I see that I do have a right triangle because the wall and the ground form a right angle. I'm missing a side, so I know I need to use Pythagorean theorem, and I need to write that out. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, let's figure out which ones I have and which ones I'm missing. I am missing a leg because I am looking for one of the lines that forms my right angle. I know I have my hypotenuse, my c, because I have the side that's across from my right angle. So I have one of my legs, so I can do 3 squared, plus I'm missing my second leg, and it all equals c squared, which is 12 squared. Again, I could have chosen to leave A and to plug 3 in for B, and that would be the same thing. That's okay. So 3 squared is 9, plus b squared, I don't know. 12 squared is 144. Now solving an equation, I need to get rid of the 9. So I'm going to subtract 9 on both sides. I get b squared equals 135. Again, to get b by itself, the opposite of squaring something is to take the square root. And when I do that, I get b equals, I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. So in my calculator, I get 11.61 because there's no whole number that when I multiply it by itself gives me 135. So I look to the second number. 1 is going to make a 6 stay the same. So 11.6, what is 11.6? 11.6 feet is how tall my wall is and how far above the ground my ladder touches my wall. Walton is 25 miles east of Park City. Park City is 38 miles south of Edenton. About how far is it from Edenton to Walton? So here in this problem, I see it's different because I'm talking about directions. I see east and south. So I've got to know my directions. So I'm going to make a little compass to make sure I know which is which. Go ahead and make sure you've got this on your paper too. So north and south, we've got to go is vertical. North is up, south is down. East and west are horizontal. East is to the right and west is to the left. Okay, so it says Walton is 25 miles east. So Walton's going to be to the right of Park City. So here's my two cities. I'm going to connect them. They are 25 miles apart. Walton is 25 miles east. So there's Walton and there's Park City. Park City is 38 miles south. So this means Park City is down here of Edenton. So Edenton is up here and it's 38 miles away. Again, Park City is south of Edenton, which means it has to be below. I want to know how far is it from Edenton to Walton. So I can see that I am looking for the hypotenuse because I'm looking for the side and the connection that's across from my right angle. So I'm going to write my formula and plug in my numbers. I have A and B because I have my two sides that form my right angle. So 38 squared plus 25 squared equals C squared. 38 squared is 1,444 plus 25 squared, which is 625, equals C squared. When I add them together on the left side, I get 2,069 equals C squared. I'm going to take the square root of both sides. In my calculator, I get 45.48 equals C. And if I said round to the nearest tenths place, I only want one number after the decimal, so I ask myself, does an 8 make a 4 bump up or stay the same? It makes it a bump up. So Edenton and Walton are about 45.5 miles from each other. Okay, go ahead and give this a try on your own. Remember, on your computer, to get the calculator, go to desmos.com/scientific. On the left-hand side of the calculator, if you want to square something, for example, you'll type your number, like 12, and then you'll hit this button, which is on the top left side, and that will square it, and automatically it will show you 144. If you want to take the square root of something, you first hit the square root symbol. Again, it's on the left-hand side, so you would hit the square root symbol, and then if you wanted to take the square root of 12, you would then type 12, and it would give you your answer as a decimal on the right-hand side. So pause and solve. All right, so this one gives us a picture, so it's a little easier. So our kite is stuck in our tree, and I want to figure out how long that string is, so right here. So that means I'm looking for C, the hypotenuse. I'm looking for the side that's across from my right angle. So 10 squared plus 30 squared equals c squared. If you plugged in the 30 for A and the 10 for B, that's fine. So you should get 100 plus 900 equals c squared. 1000 equals c squared. Take the square root and you get 31.6 equals c. And we're going to leave it as 6 because after in the calculator you get 2, which makes it stay the same as 31.6 feet is the length of the string for the kite. Make any corrections now. And the last one, go ahead and attempt, so pause and try it on your own. Okay, this is similar to the first one we did, so you should have a picture. I have a wall, I have a ladder leaning against it, and then obviously my ladder is a certain distance from my wall. The ladder is 14 feet. This time it tells me how far the ladder is from the ground. So my wall is 12 foot. It hits the house 12 feet above, so that means this is 12 feet. How far is the ladder from the wall? I don't know where this ladder is from the wall. So we are looking this time for B. 12 is one of my legs. I don't have my other leg. I know I have C because I have the side in the line across from my right angle. So my 14 gets plugged in there. If you had it in the wrong place, make sure you correct it now. So 12 squared is 144 plus B squared, 14 squared is 196. I'm going to subtract 144 on both sides. We get B squared equals 52. Take the square root, and I get B equals, this time it says round to the nearest whole number. So in my calculator, I get 7.2. But whole number means no decimal, so I ask myself 2. Is 2 going to make this 7 bump up or stay the same? And it will make it stay the same. So the ladder is approximately 7 feet from the ground.